How's it going, everyone? Dr. Frankie here. And today I'm going to be talking about social media, technology, and dating and how it plays into our dating lives. I want to encourage you all to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And for folks who have, thanks so much for doing that. And spread the word. I want to continue to grow, and I love being able to be here weekly and seeing that folks are benefiting from what I have to share. And if there is anything I'm not covering or you want to hear more about a certain topic, please let me know in the comment section. And I always try to read the comments and respond to them. So if you have any questions about something I'm talking about and want to, further explore, share what's coming up for you, please do that. And if you want to learn more about me, visit me on social media. I have an Instagram, it's Dr. Frankie Bashan. And I also have a TikTok, which is Dr. Frankie Bashan, and Facebook. And I'm the CEO of Little Gay Book Matchmaking and Little Black Book Matchmaking. So aside from being a matchmaker, I'm also a clinical psychologist and a board certified sex therapist and a dating and relationship expert. So I do a lot of coaching. Anyway, okay, so let's just get into today's topic. Again, it's social media, technology, and dating. So like it or not, social media is thoroughly woven into the fabric of modern life. Even if you choose to avoid using social media yourself, it's a part of our shared social experience. As with all advances in technology, it makes some things richer and at the same time more complicated, including likely your love life. What does it mean for dating that you can now express interest in someone with a heart-eyed emoji commented on their selfie, or you realize from a Facebook post that your crush is finally single? Vetting a date on social media. Speaking with someone in person is still usually the best way to get a sense of whether someone might be a good fit for you. But for many of us, it's natural to have an urge to also get a vibe check on their online presence, either ahead of a first date or right after one. It's best to take this with a grain of salt. After all, our online presences are curated intentionally as a specific version of ourselves. So anything that you react to strongly isn't the full picture. So really keep that in mind. However, there are some things you might see on social media screening that will let you know about a major red flag up front, like a partner or kids they didn't tell you about, like maybe the person's married, maybe they didn't share about their political views, your date 4 or 5, and you don't have a sense, and it's something extreme that doesn't fit for you, and you might get that sense on social media. Maybe they have a different ideological way, which doesn't work for you. So it can be helpful, but kind of take it as, take some, leave some, that sort of thing. Finding dates on social media and curating yourself for them. Figuring out where to meet people is so challenging today for all of us. And that's why so many turn to matchmaking. Some people find that social media, especially Instagram, can be a more accessible way to meet someone than either dating apps or hitting the bars, which people hardly do that anymore. It's hard to strike up conversation with strangers, right? The algorithm tends to lead us to people it thinks we'd want to follow, which are often people we have an acquaintance in common with or share interests with. These aren't bad options for a dating pool, for better or for worse. Plenty of relationships have begun through a series of cryptic emoji replies to someone's Instagram stories. However, speaking of a social media being curated to suggest a specific version of ourselves, some of us can find it hard to be authentic in these spaces, especially, and bringing in the potential of dating into it just makes it even harder. If you're someone who finds yourself putting on a performance when there's someone you're interested in nearby, you may find the same issue coming up on social media. And it's fine to be mindful of potential dates, finding yourself on social media that the presence is intriguing, but don't let it become the fuel for maintaining an online persona that's exhausting without even showing who you really are. When to exchange social media follows. What about when you're actually successfully dating someone? If you've been out with someone a few times and it's going well, you may be thinking about what steps it's appropriate next and what's moving too fast. One of those steps might be following each other on social media, especially if you have private or locked accounts. How do you know when it's time? There's no hard and fast answer. It's safe to say that the first date is too soon, while a couple of months in is fine. It's helpful to think about what a worst case scenario of this choice might be. If you and this date fizzled out after seeing each other once or twice and then never speak again, what will it feel like to be following them and vice versa? Do you want to see updates on their diet and summer trips or be faced with a decision to unfollow them? If you post about being laid off, do you want them to see that? These are all things to consider. Managing social media while in a relationship, when and how to postpone someone. Once you're in the swing of an established relationship, social media often becomes part of the hum in the background. You're both sharing your outfits, your pets, your favorite memes, and so on and so forth. One question that does sometimes come up, however, specific to relationships, is the idea of someone posting you as their partner. How often your partner makes you visible on their social media platforms, whether that's posting photos of you or mentioning you explicitly as their romantic partner. The motivation behind this anxiety could be a fear of being cheated on and wanting your partner to be visibly taken, or just an anxiety about your importance in your partner's life. There isn't a right or wrong approach to this. And if this describes you, you aren't crazy for wanting it. And at the same time, there isn't necessarily anything harmful or suspicious about you or about your partner's reticence, especially if they aren't a very active social media user or feel anxious about sharing their personal life online. The important thing is to directly communicate and hear each other out about the reason that these questions matter to each of you and commit to addressing the emotional needs and wants at the root of the conversation. When social media becomes a problem, the other time social media may take a front seat in your relationship in a problematic way is if it becomes an avenue for abusive or controlling behaviors on the part of either you or your partner. For many of us in modern times, social media is another layer of public life, and controlling a partner's ability to access public life is trying to keep them under control at home. In the private sphere is a classic pattern of abuse. This may manifest as trying to control what someone posts online, arguing that photos posted are in inappropriately revealing outfits or are somehow invitations to other suitors, demanding access to your social media passwords or ability to read all your messages and DMs, or even wanting you to stop using social media altogether entirely. If these patterns are visible in your relationship in any direction, it's important to address issues of control immediately. While social media may be a place where these issues become visible, the core of the issue is within the power dynamics of your relationship. Social media as the third wheel to your breakup, to post or to not post about a breakup. We love to post to social media during the best of times, holidays, birthdays, vacations, career milestones. It's harder to know what to do with difficult things like a breakup. Some people choose to post a breakup announcement of sorts, sharing the fact that it's happened, more often when the breakup has been relatively amicable, such that they still communicate enough with the ex to plan the announcement. This can be an appealing option in the sense that it feels like getting it over with, but may also open up more inquiries and conversations than you wanted to actually deal with during a delicate period in your life. For some of us, it may also be tempting to use social media as a place to vent about our breakup feelings, whether that's updates on how badly we're feeling or descriptions of how our ex wronged us. While this can feel like a pressure release valve in the moment, it's likely to cause more problems in the long term, whether that's conflict with your now ex or a change in how others see you based on your online behavior. Remember that social media is often evaluated by potential employers as well as friends. If you feel strongly that you need somewhere to vent, consider at least using a private or closed account, or even making a new account or list with only a very small number of closest friends and loved ones for this type of content. Managing unhealthy behaviors related to your ex's social media. Depending on the breakup and how you process difficult feelings, you may have a hard time making a clean break. And if you don't have continued access to your now ex, you may be finding yourself fixating on their social media. What are they doing? Are they sad? Are they as sad as I am? Are they making out? Are they making, not are they making out? Are they making you out to be the bad guy? Are they dating anyone new? These are normal questions to have, but continuously refreshing their social media or analyzing the minutia of their comments is only going to make the painful post-breakup period last even longer, as you focus on this external task and avoid dealing with your own feelings. Figuring out what it would take, including blocking them or having a friend take over your social media or passwords for you to step away from this habit and move on, is the best thing for you to do. So I hope you all found this helpful. And if you think of anybody who would benefit from anything I shared today, please share it with them. And I look forward to seeing you all next time. Take care. Big hugs, kisses.